That's you see, it's funny. So if the employer says, "I have a culture I want to maintain,"
Yes.
so what happens to those people who are graduating who didn't go to school on time? That was the point you were raising earlier.
Absolutely.
About people who didn't go to school on time,
Exactly.
and then they are graduating older than the age limit that most employers put out there. They tell you 20 to 30. It must be between.
And in addition to that, it is also, don't you think it is possible that the people they are rejecting, maybe people that are of 30 bracket,
Above 30.
35, let's say up to 40, let that be the cutoff point.
So you're
Because-
agreeing that there should be a cutoff point.
Well, like he said in his opening remark, it is not in all positions that there should be a cutoff point. Remember, there are contract employments for specialized cases, for example. But the point I'm trying to make is that when you consider the fact that some of these so-called young people, irrespective of the culture he talked about, of various
employer.
organizations,
Yeah.
they commit various harakiri. For example, I know how many times I've been embarrassed by the so-called younger people who probably, because they lack maturity, they lack that comportment, they lack so many things that will make them relate to the general public who are supposed to be the target audience of their corporate organization. I'm not saying that recruiting maybe young graduate trainees is not good, but how many of them do we have in supply? Because whatever we are saying here, we must relate it to the decay in our educational sector today, vis-a-vis the kind of graduate we are churning out. It's very, very important. Any attempt to exclude what is happening in the educational sector today may not tally with what he's trying to say. I agree with him that, look, every corporate organization have got its culture of who it should recruit and who it should not recruit, based on the modus operandi that have been enunciated by the organizations. But we should take it beyond that. You cannot say because I am 30, I am computer literate, I am more matured, and the age is still on my side to move up and down, because that was another issue you raised. For example, I have a friend who is going to 50. He hardly stays 2 days a week at home. He's either in Japan today, he's in Turkey tomorrow, he's in Kenya next tomorrow, or in Abuja, because of the nature of, the organization.
And he's still looking quite young.
Looking very agile, young.
Younger than some of the young employees.
Churning out results. As a matter of fact, he got an award last year where the management told his colleagues, perhaps older or younger, even much, much younger, to emulate him because of his dedication to duty.
So how do
It's
you
very,
react to
very
that?
important.
First, you say you have one friend, not 100 friends, not 1,000
I
friends.
can name many.
Okay,
I
no,
just use them
no,
as
I'm
my
just starting
illustration.
from there.
Yes.
But you see, you mentioned something. You said some of these young guys, you gave an example of some people that went out and embarrassed. Was it your organization or somewhere else?
No. I said I have
Okay.
visited some organization
Okay.
where they didn't know how to handle.
Yes.
Because, look, our idiosyncrasies, our characteristics.
Great.
is
I'm happy you're
very,
mentioning
very,
that.
very important. And those who can accommodate different shades of character. Because some people are very temperamental, some are well
Great.
comported.
You are making my next statement very easy.
So
Now,
you understand.
the way we
So
are
that's
as
what we have to
individuals,
consider.
the way we are as individuals, let me even take it wider.
That's
all
right.
the employees are coming from different schools, but as an individual, you are the way you are because of the experience you've gathered over time, the knowledge you've acquired, and your environment. That's
And
what
that
makes you.
knowledge and experience is a product of age.
No, not really. No, that's what makes the individual. We're not even talking age yet. So you are the way you are because you went to some school, because you grew up in some family, because you read some things, you've had some experiences. That's the way you are. We're not even talking about employment. Now, when you go to the employer's place, what some employers are doing now, because we know there's an issue. There's a bigger issue. There's an issue with the schools. There's an issue with the educational system. What some employers are doing right now is when you come with whatever qualifications you have. The ones that are chosen, they are still groomed. They don't just bring them in and send them out because they know they are coming with their different beliefs. They are coming with their different ideas. The guy that schooled in the city might behave differently from the guy that schooled in town or in the village. Now, since we have a corporate culture here, or there's what we want to run in this organization, they are trained to run with what the organization has on the ground. So we do not have somebody from Unilag or somebody from Uniben. We have somebody we trained here, then we send out. Now, the issue of the age thing. Okay, imagine some guy that is 40. This man has had 40 years experience of life. Compare him with some guy that is 23. Both of them, they were in the same class. It's harder to change that 40-year-old guy from his beliefs. It's not impossible. It is harder. Why? Because there's so much you have to decongest. The 23-year-old guy, okay, maybe he's not married. Maybe he doesn't have too many things on his mind. So it's easier to work with him. Of course, with human beings, it's never general. But that is always the case.
I'm happy you brought in that aspect because I was to challenge you in that aspect. Look, whatever you want to be, like you rightly said, it's not only a product of the training you get right from your primary through various institutions you are good. Your own person is very, very important.
No, you didn't get it. It's not, your own person is an individual thing. It is your environment, your knowledge, your experience that has made you the way you are. I'll give you an example. Let me say something.
I will disagree with you.
Let me just say something before you go on. I was at a client's place the other day and they were talking about the blast on Monday. And some guy says, hey, come and see what happened in Nyanya in Abuja. And the other guy strolls there and they scroll through the pictures. And I said, you guys, you don't feel it anymore. Do you know why? Because we've been having regular blast. So it's not big news. So somehow, directly or indirectly, you might just think there might just be another blast somewhere. Why? Now, that is what is happening around you. So it is not big news anymore. Now, 10 years ago, a bomb blast would have been strange. I mean, Dele Giwa died in 86. That was a very strange phenomenon. But now you are going to work because you hear blasts everywhere. You are very security conscious. That's a function of your environment. Do you understand? Now, if you look at the knowledge, the things you've read, the things, it will change your mindset. There's a talk about Ebola virus. I heard somebody talking the other day, and he said, look, I don't want meat. That's new knowledge. Why? We just heard that Ebola virus is in Africa. Some people have even started saying it's in Nigeria. That new knowledge that has come, before it was a bit distant, but now it has come. It has shaped my thinking. And what we are talking about is just in the last 1 month or so. So you see that little, now imagine somebody that has had all these things for 20 years. It will be very hard for you to change it in the 2 months program for his new employer. It will be much harder.
Well, why I agree with some of the points you have marshaled out, I still insist that personal mindset has a role to play in all of this. For example, when I pick up a news, whether from the foreign media or local media, if I think that it has anything to do with my family, the first thing I do would be to bring them together and say, look, this and this and this is happening in the world. Be careful. Right? It does not mean that it is only the younger person that can comprehend. Even the adult among them, because it's meant for their own good. That is what you are saying. Because, you see, the point I'm trying to make is that, one, succession is the primary motive why people always say, oh, we prefer the graduate trainees to older people. Then two, dexterity on the job. Maybe you learn a little, before you know it, there is no supervision. But it does not apply in all cases. I think there is a limitation in the part of, on the part of the people that think that way. Because if I am not given an opportunity, you never can know my capability. How are you supposed to extract it?
So the focus should not be on age.
Exactly.
But what I said
It should
is,
be on capability and ability. What am I capable? What values am I capable of adding to an organization?
Okay.
It's very fundamental.
At Oduntaya,